Yeah.
I think what should guide us is the truth, and not to confuse the truth with your insecurities. You know, when you say, this is who I am, people judge me, are you speaking from the truth perspective, or are you speaking out of insecurity? You're not quite sure, and so you're coming across as suspect, or is it the truth? If it's the truth, then I will assert it. I'm attracted to the same sex. Is it wrong? This is what I feel genuinely. And I'll be like, look at yourself. Who are you? Are you a boy or a girl? And you'll be like, yeah, I feel something different. So I'll be like, okay, your feelings may say one thing, but the truth does not change.
Welcome back to this other episode, which is going to be quite interesting, on God's grace with grit. Now, we'll be talking about the youth ministry, how to reach to the youth ministry, and have a practical example of someone who's done that in the past, doing it presently, and we hope that he is going to continue it even in the future. So today we have a very nice host, my pastor, my youth pastor, whom I'll let introduce himself, and then we can go through a little bit of those questions that you don't know the answer, you don't know how to go around it, how it's done. If you're a youth worker, a youth, or someone who wants to work with someone who's a youth, or maybe you're a parent and you want to understand, so how do I work with a teenager? How do I work with a young adult? How do I frame the spirituality in a way that they can understand? Now, we'll be helping Passive, who's going to help us understand and debunk all that. So without much further ado, I'll let him introduce himself in the best way he knows how.
Oh man.
So on to you.
Wow. Thank you, Salome, for having me. It's a privilege to be here. I come across as Daniel Masawi. I am born again, a father of two, married for about 20 years right now, and passionate with youth work, believing so strongly that God has called me to work with young people. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's me. Yes.
Now, we all understand that, it's like working in high school or working in campus, that it's kind of hard to get a connection when it comes to the youth. They find it a little bit difficult in how they open up, in who they open up to. But how have you been able to build trust and a connection to them, even as you minister to them?
Yeah, I think for me it's the connection and the trust comes with the understanding that there are people who have needs, and if we are able to service these needs, we will develop that connection and trust. So for me, to connect with young people and develop some trust, I relate with them on the level of their needs. All of them, as I mentioned earlier on, have these three basic needs. They want to matter, they want to belong, and they want to contribute. If I can show to them that they matter, that our relationship makes them matter, they will listen to me. If I can create a space where they belong, where they feel they're at home with me. I'm not a patron, I'm not somebody who's trying to make them be what they are not. If they're at home, we will have a connection. And if there is something that they can contribute, because that usually puts off many young people. Normally people come to them counseling like they have nothing to offer. If they feel that they have something to contribute that I can listen to, then we can have a connection. So for me, I usually build that trust and connection based on meeting their needs. Yes.
Now, I understand that you work with the youth, but was this something that you looked forward to doing? Like, was it when I grow up, I want to be a youth pastor? Was it like that, or is it a calling that came? What happened? What have you done before this? How has it contributed to who you are as a person and also as a pastor to the youth?
Well, the calling to the youth, it's not something that I look forward to. As I had mentioned earlier on, I'm usually not a people person. And growing up, I aspired to be something else, you know. But the calling came with an interest. There's this segment of people that I can easily relate. I can be myself and quite often just, you know, have conversations with them. And it grew. I think my relationship with the young people grew with time. It's not something that I planned that one day I would want to be a pastor. It's something I stumbled in and it became a passion. And well, it's something I believe this is what God created me to do. Yeah.
I love that answer. And I'll take you back a little bit to, we all need to matter. We need to belong somewhere, and we need to contribute.
Yes.
Now, it's a very simple message, but in how you package it might be different from how you do it for the youth or maybe for the other adults. So how do you navigate, or how do you make it relevant for the youth in the ministry and to the ministry of the adults? Is it a line that, you know, this is going to serve the youth, or this is going to serve these other people? Is it something that's corporate, just that you do it differently? Or how is ministering to the youth different from ministering to the what you call adults?
Yeah, these needs are fundamental to any human being. I think where we usually go wrong is where we label someone as a young person, as a child, and quite often we counsel them. You know, for me, how I work with young people is how I will work with every other person. The language might differ because of the settings, because some would not understand maybe if I'm using slang or any other kind of language that the young people understand easily. But how I treat them is how I'll treat any other adult, with respect, knowing this is a human being with this kind of needs that God has privileged me to serve. And once they see that authenticity and how I view them, they reciprocate with the same. And there we build that connection. And so for me, I don't treat young people differently from how I relate with adults when it comes to serving those needs. All of us need to matter. You know, when somebody looks at you and say, you're important, I value you, that is exactly what a young person wants. It's the same thing that I will tell my wife. You know, you're important, you matter to me, I want to belong to you. The same young person is like, I want to feel home around you, not as a stranger or being treated with suspicion or judgment. And also, it's something I can offer you, you know, like I can contribute. So that is the way I treat everyone. And that has helped me to work with young people. There's no mold I get into when I come across a young person, because young people can smell thickness from far, and you do not want to get there, where they just play along with you, but once you are out of the scene, they'll be like, yeah, this guy was faking it. You know, so be authentic and treat everyone equally, you know.
There's something you said about judgment. You see, you hear a lot of, these guys are judging me. Like I am who I am, you know. I want to be wherever I am and be accepted the way I am. If I label myself on this side, please don't tell me to change. How do you handle that, especially with the, you know, the modern day LGBTQ? I am this, I identify as this. How do you get to show the values that are still in the Bible, the model Christian of how we're supposed to live, and how do you bring that out, or you can even actually give us an example of how you helped someone who's had identity crisis, because that's kind of where we are, where I don't know where to belong to, or I feel like I belong to a group or a certain particular setup that's not this. How do we handle that in our day-to-day activities? Yeah.
I think what should guide us is the truth, and not to confuse the truth with your insecurities. You know, when you say, this is who I am, people judge me, are you speaking from the truth perspective, or are you speaking out of insecurity? You're not quite sure, and so you're coming across as suspect, or is it the truth? If it's the truth, then I will assert it. I will say, don't care what people are saying, this is who you are based on what God created you to be.
Yeah.
So I will assert that. But if it is coming out of insecurity because it rubs off differently from the norm that is around you, and it's not based on the truth, then I will speak again in truth. I will say, you know what, you need to address this insecurity, because you can't remain in fakeness. God created you to be this. You're acting this way. I will walk with you until you're strong enough to accept the truth, but differentiate between the truth and your own insecurity. So that's how, and there are many cases where I've come across young people, like in our ministry, where someone tells you, Dan, I have a headache. And later on, as you sit around, he says, I have this issue. I'm attracted to the same sex. Is it wrong? This is what I feel genuinely. And I'll be like, look at yourself. Who are you? Are you a boy or a girl? And you'll be like, yeah, I feel something different. So I'll be like, okay, your feelings may say one thing, but the truth does not change. Now you will have that struggle, and we can walk together while you reconcile that, but the truth is the truth. And that is what the gospel is all about, to help us appreciate the truth and live with the truth. So I'll walk with that person, not necessarily judging their feelings, what they are feeling, because all of us have feelings, but the truth should attract the right feelings. So help them navigate through that without judging them. That helps.
I love how you brought about truth.
Yes.
But what is the truth? Because to me, whatever I'll be feeling, I'll validate as gospel truth.
Yes.
Maybe it's relativism, whereby your truth is not my truth. So what truth are you speaking about?
So the truth, when I speak of the truth, and especially in the context of where I am as a pastor, the truth, Jesus called himself as the truth. I am the truth. He wasn't beating about the bush. So the truth is what God has said to be true in his word, from creation to revelation. And there isn't any subject in the whole world which hasn't been spoken about by God. When you talk about sexuality, what is the truth? God created them male and female, period. That is the truth. I might be feeling different. I'm in a trapped, so to speak, trapped in a body of a man, and I am a woman. Those are your feelings. But what does God say? I created them male and female, period. So that is the truth. And when I say the truth, is what is God's truth. Because he is the truth. He doesn't have a truth somewhere. He is the truth. And he manifests this truth through the word of God. Everything from creation to revelation. He's speaking his truths. He's manifesting it. He's making it known. It's manifest. It's like what he says in the book of Romans chapter 1. I know many people go there if they really want to bash people or anything. But there is a passage in scripture in chapter 1, Romans 1, he says, he has made this truth manifest. You know, it's open, it's not hidden.
It's not a mystery.
Yeah, but many of us hold that truth in unrighteousness.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, you know the truth, but you're suppressing it, either with your feelings or with the environment around you. It has forced you to suppress the truth. But you know, deep within you, I'm not a man, I'm a woman. You know deep within you, you're not a woman, you're a man. But something is making that truth being suppressed, and you're holding that truth in unrighteousness. You are not, unrighteousness simply means not right. Not right with God, the owner of truth, the truth himself. So you can hold truth in unrighteousness. And that's where many of us find ourselves with feelings. You know, our emotions can sometimes make us hold truth in unrighteousness. But for us as pastors, is not to condemn them, tell them this is what is happening with all of us. We are constantly battling with the truth. And God gives us that grace to appreciate and hold that truth in righteousness.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm quite enjoying this in how we're drawing from the difference between the truth that we know and the truth of God. So is the truth that we know superseding or trying to compress the truth of God? We'll take a very short commercial break and we'll be right back. So please stay there.